Management Committee to order. First order of business is approval of minutes. I have a motion to that effect.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. First thing on the agenda, judicial building update.
Okay, we'll start with judicial building. I'm just sort of bringing you more current with maybe where we are in the status of this. So that's the question, that's the issue on all these first four agenda items. So if you have questions, let me know, because I don't know if I've covered everything you want to know. First, I want to tell you, and I think most of you already know this, so you should have already gotten a notice of the groundbreaking on March the 4th, Friday at 10 o'clock. So that will be on the judicial building actual site. So we are inviting the public and anybody else that wishes to come. Now, shortly thereafter, on March the 7th, which will be Monday, that following Monday, there will be a notice to proceed with the early release package. Now, the early release package is going to be the part that we start on the judicial building itself for site work, footings, foundations, steel, etc., concrete, all of those things. So that's so we can go ahead and get started before we actually start the building itself or the garage. And that's going to be in the neighborhood of $15 million. Now, once we get past that, we're going to actually release the once we get the guaranteed maximum price for the garage. That'll be on I think April the 7th, and the guaranteed maximum price for the rest of the, you might say, the construction package for the judicial building is on June the 2nd. So we won't start the garage until we get that guaranteed maximum price, and it'll be sometime in the neighborhood of April the 7th when they'll start that construction, and then we'll start the construction. We've already had a few months of construction before June the 2nd on this site work and the things I just told you just now about the early release package, and we'll be starting the actual main construction on June the 2nd or thereabouts. All this thing is progressing. I mean, everything is moving nicely through the PBA. Even interior finishes, the boards that define all that's already been prepared. They're going to review that with the PBA at their next meeting. They've even taken inventory on all the furniture that's currently there, and they're making a list of what furniture would need to be placed. So we're a long ways off from meeting that, but I'm telling you, all of those things are working forward in a very nice, orderly manner. I will mention one thing. This is not definite by any means yet, but our parking garage has 4 floors, and there has been a bit of interest expressed by Murfreesboro Electric to buy and pay for their own floor, you might say, which would add a 5th floor. That's still very, very preliminary. I just want you to let you know, if you hear about that, you won't be surprised, okay? But I don't know what that's going to officially get done or not, but that would be something they've expressed a little bit of interest in. That's about all my update on that, unless you have some questions. So,
Any
Murfreesboro
questions?
Electric, they need more parking?
well, it's for their employees.
Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I think when they see what the price of it
Well,
is, they may
well,
shy away.
I think they've been told, so they may not go with it.
Yeah.
I mean, the pro rata cost is about $1.9 million.
Yeah.
Well, what would keep the employees from parking there anyway?
Well, it wouldn't be the right thing to do, just to use that for them to park there, but they want to be a team player, I think. All of that, we'll see how that happens in the next few weeks. So whenever if you have more questions, fine. If not, we'll move on to the,
Any more questions?
No, sir.
We'll move on. Ambulance station update.
now this ambulance station we're talking about here is the one that we're building on Burton Street. So that's been in the planning stage for a while. And we've got, I think we put $600,000 already in their capital account to build that structure. This is going to be housing 2 teams of ambulances, you might say, as opposed to 1 in our typical ambulance station, because that is probably our busiest station we have. So it's a little bit bigger, and it's gonna have 4 bays in it, and sleeping quarters and et cetera for 4 people, you might say. So they're working right now with the actual construction documents. They're not through with that. It's been a while since we've started this, so and they've expanded some in this structure itself. So it looks like the 600,000 I told you could be as much as 700,000 or so. So we're going to have an increase in that, but I can't tell you what that number is yet till we get there. We'll have to come back and get your consent to let us add that additional money as we actually figure out what it is. Okay. So that's sort of where we are on that. It's not moving as quick as we could, but we'll be ready to bid soon, and we'll have to come back to you folks, I guess, when we determine what those bids are and if we need more money.
Any questions on that?
And I will just give you a little bit of a heads up. We don't know where we're going with this, but there is some real probability we're going to have to build at least one, maybe a couple of stations in the next year or two at other locations. I mean, we just got many ambulances having to respond out of zone, and a few zones are just overwhelmed. So that's potentially in the budget.
How many stations do we
I
have?
think we've got 11. I can't remember whether it's 11 or not, but it's a number of more than 10.
Goes, gonna have to have response time because
Response time,
traffic.
yeah. Yes, you're exactly right. Response time is creeping up just a little bit. Not so much yet, but it's going to continue to be more and more calls.
It's not getting better.
The number of calls just keep increasing with our population increasing. So that's a brief update on that.
Any questions on that?
Okay, on the Florence Road property, you know we purchased that property. We jumped through all the hoops to get this brownfield agreement done. So belongs to Rutherford County. And we've had our maintenance people and our solid waste people and our engineer and others starting a discovery plan, you might say, of what we want to put out there. They've got a preliminary site plan developed, which includes a building for vehicle maintenance with some ability to expand that even as we go forward. Solid waste offices. We've got some covered parking for our vehicles, particularly all these solid waste trucks, et cetera, that would be on the site. Got the potential for putting a recycle center on that site, and we could even put a fuel island there if we so choose, and still have maybe a little bit of room left. And there are a couple of other things they hadn't really thought about that I'd like to see if they could find a place that reserve a place for some, maybe an ambulance station even, I don't know. But, we'll keep working on that. They are getting, just so we can sort of see, there's not going to be anything in your budget request to build a building in 2016 and 17, okay? We're going to try to get our act together and get some real consensus on what we want to put out there. And then we'll decide which of the buildings go first and second, maybe.
I like the idea of keeping our vehicles under cover.
Yeah.
It sure does, them sitting out in the weather deteriorates faster.
But they've been sitting out in the weather. And
For all
our
these years.
people are almost out in the weather. We have one little prefab storage building as their office and headquarters.
Yeah, I know.
So they're getting some preliminary costs. We're just getting some projections, so we'll sort of have some ballpark idea of what all this is going to cost in these components, and we can, at some point, we'll bring to you some discussion and approval on what we really want to do and what the priorities are. I just want to let you know that's what we're doing. Maybe sometimes it seems like nothing's happening on some of these things, but stuff is happening.
Do you remember how many acres that was?
It's 22 acres, but it's only a net of about 19, I think, because
Usable, yeah.
the railroad there has an easement that's it's a pretty wide easement.
Yeah.
And we do have a railroad spur there.
Yeah,
That
that's
And
good.
They've got on the plan the potential if we ever need to
That's good.
collect
Mhm.
materials, whatever sort of it is, recycle that, we could load them up right there. So it's potential, but
That's so
we'll just have to see how that goes at
That's
some
It's
so-
point.
good to build it in.
Yep.
Now this, are you through with Florence Road?
Yep.
Tire recycling. This is just, I just want to give you a heads up. Nobody's decided anything, but I'm gonna tell you what's under discussion. Right now, all of the counties in Tennessee have to get rid of all these tires, that used tires, and it's costly. And there's only about one private entity that will take these things. So we're sort of held hostage in some ways, not having a good place to take all these tires that just keep on multiplying. Now, some of you know what the Tennessee County Services Association is. That's sort of an overseeing group, you might say, that give, the County Technical Services Advisory is a group is a part of this, all of this. So TCSA, they've got a few things that they allow counties to be a part of or participate in. They've got insurance, which we don't participate. They've got 2 or 3 other things that they do that they have decided among their leadership and some of our other counties, they want to put in place a location whereby there would be a center that grinds up all these tires and then ships them. Basically, right now, they're shipping these tire fragments that are ground up. They're shipping them to other energy places that are using these things for fuel. So they've got a model, they've got a financial plan, and what happened is TDEC has put on a tire environmental fee. And it started last October, and they're collecting $5 per tire for those vehicles that have 4 or fewer wheels. They're collecting $10 for those vehicles that are more than 4 but less than 10, and 15 on over 11 or more. This is adding up to a lot of money. They're building a pool of money, and they're going to have enough money built up, so they say, for TDEC to grant a substantial amount of money, over maybe $1 million or in that neighborhood, to allow for the purchase of the equipment that would grind all this stuff up, all right? Now, where does Rutherford County come into this discussion? Rutherford County is a centralized location for, I don't know, they got Middle Tennessee, this would be, I think they got 50-something counties that might be participating in this.
54.
So you're on top of this. All right.
I just take good notes.
And anyway, Mac has talked about this. So where we come into it is we've got space, we've got land. So the proposal is for us, and we've found a location out there that won't impede what we want to do in the future on our landfill. So we would provide the site, and we would put the buildings in place. We would not operate. They'll have a private operator doing the grinding and being responsible for the equipment and all that. And this building, whatever it cost, we're working on that cost right now. We're not there, but it's more than $1 million. It's probably $1.2 million. We just don't know. We're just very early in this. I just wanted you not to think that we don't want to get ahead of your knowledge. We're not telling you we're going to make a deal or cut a deal, but we just want you to know that this is under discussion. So we would furnish some money to build this building. They would lease the building. TCSA, that entity, they're the enterprise that's going to actually do this. They're going to lease the building from whoever does this, and it would pay for itself over some period of years. I don't know how many years yet. But David Connor, who is their director, who is an attorney, is working on this. And I'm telling you tonight, this is February the 25th, Public Works, assuming Mac is back in operation again after his hip replacement, this will go to Public Works. By then, which is a short time frame, we're going to sort of have to have a better plan than I'm telling you right now as far as the details of the cost. But hopefully we could bring something to Public Works on March the 8th, which would be a bit of more information, hopefully, surely, than I'm giving you. And then this may go to budget after that Public Works meeting. And sometime between now and budget, there may be, David Connor at TCSA may develop some sort of memorandum of understanding that we would put forth as what they're gonna do and how this lease arrangement works with Rutherford County. So you guys have all that to think about.
Yeah. What's in it for us?
We won't have to, it's here, we won't have to transport our tires 50 miles or 100 miles somewhere else. And so that's really the primary thing in it for us.
And the
So
turnkeys will love
basically,
it because they don't
Rutherford
like.
County would own the equipment and
We wouldn't know.
wouldn't own
Just the
anything
building.
at all?
TCS owns the equipment.
Okay,
And they contract with somebody else to operate the equipment and do all the grinding. All we do is we'll own the building, and the
That's-
buildings will be
yeah.
ours, but, and we'll get them paid for through this arrangement over
That's
some
one of
period of
the things
time.
we're getting for.
And the
They
$5
pay
that
us
you
the
talk about,
building, they
the
lease.
charging for tire, that money's buying the equipment.
That money, part of that money is, all of that money goes to TDEC, and they
Right.
use it as they so choose, but they are proposing to use maybe $1 million of it to buy the equipment. A grant that they would give to TCSA. TCS is like a little independent company. They're taking the risk here in order to help support all of the counties that need this kind of support.
Well, it sounds like the tires have some value. They can sort of be recycled into some type of
Yeah,
fuel.
it's fuel, it's a fuel.
But now
stock.
would this create an odor or noise? Or?
It wouldn't burn you. Yeah, there might be some noise, but it's not that much.
It wasn't too bad in Laverne when they had a place grinding tires.
Okay.
There won't be any odor, but it could be a bit of noise, but we don't have any nearby neighbors. I mean, I don't think it'd be that
And it
much.
was by the railroad.
But that's a
track.
good question. I don't
Well,
know.
that landfill already smells so bad for the neighbors. I hate to pile on and do something else up there
I don't-
that
I don't
would
believe that.
harm their quality of life any further.
Well, we agree with that. I don't think there'd be any noise.
They use that, don't they, for some of the roads and so forth, and then
Well,
around
it's got several
landscaping?
different, got a few options as far as uses, but they're primarily thinking about, it's a great need for fuel, and they've got some, they have identified apparently people that would, if we had it today, they say they could sell it. But that's the risk of TCSA. All right, so, that's about the story right now on that.
More to come.
More to come, much more to come. All right, and on any other business, you guys read the paper and you understand where we are with this misdemeanor probation. So on April the 1st, we gotta be in business down there, or down there, I say down there. And one of the things we have to do is have to have a place to do this. And we have talked to the current owners of this place right where they are now, and they are willing to continue on a month-by-month basis with us, the lease of that property, and we don't have any other place to put it. We'd have to find a place and get it equipped and all of that stuff. So right now, that's down the street here on West College, and the lease, the monthly lease on that is $8,500 a month. And it's all set up and ready to go just for that purpose. So this is, we don't have full authority from the commission yet, but what I need you to do is property management, approve us continuing that lease on a month-to-month basis, subject to final and complete approval by the commission on March the 17th. It's a little preliminary document I gave over to public safety. You know, I had all this outlined as far as the cost, and that cost is on there. But I think it's important that the property management people know about, you're supposed to, I think, have a part in any buildings we lease, buy, or otherwise used.
I'm trying to think down the road a little bit. Is this something that we could have PBA to perhaps look at finding an alternate building at some point in
At
time?
some
Or
point.
even building a new one
That's
specifically for
possible.
that?
I mean, I don't know, I wouldn't say that none of those suggestions would
Just,
be
you know,
bad. Couldn't be followed up, but right now,
Yeah.
we don't have any other choice, time-wise.
But we just be doing this on a monthly basis.
We do it on a month-by-month until we find out, get our footing and find out what might be better.
When you talk about this current building is already equipped, is
They
there?
got offices set up just like they should be
Okay.
set up. They got a big meeting room and
Okay.
they got space.
All right. It looks like a normal
Yeah,
office
drug
space.
It's
testing
just-
area.
There's no detention, there's
No, no.
No, no.
there's nothing going on.
Just, drug testing areas
Yeah, yeah,
and the restroom for
yeah.
salt set up for that.
Perhaps we can take a tour when we get ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
So you're needing a motion
I need a
to
motion
pass
for-
this on to full commission?
yeah, from property management to recommend a month-to-month lease on this space and send it on to the budget and to the full commission.
Is this $8,500 a month, does that include the use of all the facilities, their equipment, and everything else? Or
But, yeah,
This is
the
county-
equipment, all the equipment all belongs to the current probation company.
I thought they were leaving that for us.
Well, that's still the plan. I do not have that in official
not in
document.
writing.
We haven't, both parties have not signed that agreement yet.
Okay.
And shouldn't we make that motion conditional on the county taking these services in-house, which, you know,
Yes,
I
which
understand.
it hadn't been done
It
officially.
hadn't
That's
been
the record
voted on
that
yet,
hadn't
but
been
I would,
voted on.
I mean, if we take it in-house, it looks like it's headed down, I mean, that path based on what public safety did, but
Okay, subject
subject to that, so
subject
it's,
to the county commission deciding that we will do it in-house and they'll appropriate the money to support the in-house operation.
So this is the stopgap measure right now, correct?
It is stopgap measure, but it could be a permanent measure.
Right.
Yeah, the building itself is stopgap, and, you know, whether we use it 3 more months or 6 or forever, we don't know yet. We'll have flexibility.
Until the final decision is made whether to do it in-house or,
Well, I think once we start in-house, we're probably in-house, I mean, once we make that decision, but where we are located could change.
Yeah.
I said, we didn't go Vermont.
Yeah, that would be,
Yeah, do I hear a motion to that effect?
yeah, I'm so moved.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a second? Any more discussion?
What was your motion?
Becky, did you get all of the mayor's motion there?
Anybody want the motion read back? Okay, let's call a roll.
Let's just go to budget.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Budget first, then full commission.
Commissioner Baum?
yes.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner Gooch?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Cush?
Yes.
Commissioner McAdoo?
Yes.
That's all I have.
Okay, let's mark it on your calendars, March the 4th, 10
And
o'clock.
all of you guys,
March
and ladies, we want you to, all of you to have a shovel in your hand. So y'all are one of the priority groups that ought to be on the front line, all right?
March the
And we have
4th,
this
10 o'clock.
judicial
Shall I
building.
bring-
Yes,
judicial
the
groundbreaking.
judicial building March the 4th.
March at 10 a.m.
Shall I bring my yellow hard hat?
They will probably furnish hard hats, but they usually do, enough for those on the front row, okay?
I checked my email. I guess the
I
email
didn't-
was
I
sent
hadn't-
out, and I had checked my
I
email.
hadn't seen an announcement
2 or 3
yet.
days.
Well,
No,
I thought she'd already sent it out to the commissioners, just this piece of paper, but
Okay.
I,
I didn't see it
I haven't
yet.
got mine.
okay, stand by, because we're
It's coming
communicating
if
with
you ain't got
everybody.
it.
Unless they sent it today, I didn't get it early this morning.
Okay. Any more business come before this committee? Not, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
How can we help you?
Second.
Chamber?